Welcome my channel, Zodiac Talks Tarot. Sagittarius, how your birth month changes everything about you. You won't believe this. Sagittarius, the adventurous and free-spirited archer of the Zodiac, always seeking their next great adventure. Known for their love of exploration and boundless curiosity, Sagittariuses are the eternal wanderers, never quite content with staying in one place for too long. But here's something you might not know: not all Sagittariuses are the same. In fact, whether you were born in November or December can dramatically affect your personality and the way you navigate the world around you. Yes, you heard that right. Your birth month plays a pivotal role in shaping how you approach everything: life, relationships, career, and even your personal growth. So, what's the real difference between a November Sagittarius and a December Sagittarius? Is one more daring while the other is more thoughtful? Are the two of you secretly polar opposites, or are the differences more nuanced than they seem? Well, buckle up, because today we're about to explore just how much your birth month impacts your Sagittarius nature. We'll dive into the fascinating details that set the November born from the December born, revealing how these subtle differences can shape your worldview in ways you might not expect. By the end of this video, I guarantee you'll start seeing yourself and other Sagittariuses in a whole new light. Whether you're a bold, risk-taking November Sagittarius or a more grounded, relationship-focused December Sagittarius, there's something for everyone here. So, sit back, relax, and let's uncover the hidden truths behind your Sagittarius identity. The Sagittarius archetype: what makes us tick? Before we delve into the fascinating differences between November and December Sagittariuses, let's take a moment to revisit the core essence of the Sagittarius archetype. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, Sagittarius is often characterized by a boundless optimism and an insatiable thirst for adventure. If there's one thing that defines a Sagittarius, it's the unrelenting drive to explore, discover, and, let's be honest, sometimes leap before they look. They're the eternal wanderers of the Zodiac, always chasing after the next great experience, whether that's a spontaneous trip to a foreign land or an intellectual journey into new ideas. But here's the thing: there's far more to Sagittarius than just the thrill seeker. Beneath that adventurous exterior lies a deeply philosophical soul. Sagittariuses possess a profound desire for truth, an intrinsic belief that life is not a static destination, but an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. They understand, perhaps better than anyone, that each step along the way, no matter how challenging, holds a lesson. That being said, did you know that your birth month can influence how these traits manifest in your personality? It's true. Whether you're born in November or December, your approach to adventure, relationships, and even personal growth can be vastly different. It's not just about the month you were born in, it's about how the celestial influences of that time shape the way you experience the world. So, are you the classic wanderlust-driven Sagittarius, or do you bring a more thoughtful, introspective twist to the table? Let's explore how the Sagittarius spirit manifests differently depending on when your birthday falls. November versus December: it's more than just a birth month. At first glance, you might assume that all Sagittariuses share the same traits. After all, we're all ruled by the expansive Jupiter, right? But here's the twist: the month you were born in plays a much larger role than you might think. Whether you were born in November or December, the subtle differences between the two could dramatically shape your personality, your relationships, and your outlook on life. And no, I'm not just talking about the fact that one of you has an extra month to rack up more cool points, though, let's face it, that's an undeniable bonus for those born in November. The differences run far deeper than that. November Sagittariuses tend to be the adventurous pioneers, the ones charging headfirst into life's challenges, often without a second thought about the consequences. They embody the shoot first, ask questions later mentality, embracing freedom and independence above all else. They're the types to dive into new experiences with little hesitation, often seeking thrills in the unknown. In contrast, December Sagittariuses approach life with a bit more caution. Sure, they still have that innate love for adventure, but they also possess a more grounded, reflective quality. They are drawn to building meaningful connections and seeking stability in their relationships, whether personal or professional. December Sagittariuses are just as optimistic, but they're more likely to temper that optimism with a touch of practicality. So, while both groups share the signature Sagittarius traits of curiosity, optimism, and a thirst for knowledge, it's the timing of your birth that can determine whether you're a daring, risk-taking adventurer or a more grounded, relationship-focused explorer. Independence versus sociability, the November Sagittarius dilemma. If you were born in November and you're a Sagittarius, chances are you're the quintessential lone wolf of the zodiac. There's something about the November-born Sagittarius that gravitates toward independence with an intensity that's almost unrivaled. They thrive in solitude, feeling most alive when they can explore the world without any restrictions, whether that means taking off on a solo backpacking adventure to an unfamiliar land or working on personal projects in complete autonomy. For November Sagittariuses, freedom isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. This need for independence goes far beyond a preference. It's woven into the very fabric of their existence. November Sagittariuses are fiercely self-reliant, often rejecting societal norms and expectations that they perceive as constraints on their freedom. They pride themselves on carving their own paths, unafraid to challenge conventions. However, as much as this drive for autonomy is empowering, it can have its downsides. November Sagittariuses can come across as distant, aloof, or even emotionally unavailable, especially in relationships. They often struggle with opening up and expressing their feelings because, in their minds, emotional vulnerability might feel like an infringement on their cherished freedom. But, before you assume that November Sagittariuses are entirely closed off, remember this: it's not that they're emotionally unavailable, they just need their space to breathe and express themselves in their own way. The classic Sagittarius trait of desiring freedom extends into all areas of life, and they need the time and space to do so without feeling weighed down. On the other side of the spectrum, December Sagittariuses are the life of the party. While they still cherish their freedom, they tend to express it differently. December-born Sagittariuses are social butterflies who thrive on interaction and connection. Walk into a room with a December Sagittarius, and within minutes, they've likely made friends with everyone in the room. They enjoy collaboration, bouncing ideas off others, and revel in the validation that comes from being surrounded by a supportive community. December Sagittariuses find joy in sharing their experiences, making them more outgoing and approachable than their November counterparts. So, if you're born in December, you're likely more focused on experiencing the world alongside others, rather than venturing off on your own. This social, community-driven nature gives December Sagittariuses a distinct energy, one that's vibrant and connected, with a dash of extroverted enthusiasm. Communication, blunt versus tactful, the Sagittarius showdown. Sagittarius blunt, honest, and to the point. Known for having no filter, Sagittariuses are all about delivering the truth straight, no chaser. But when it comes to November versus December Sagittariuses, the way they communicate is like a tale of two archers. One shoots straight from the hip, while the other carefully aims before releasing the arrow. November Sagittariuses are the classic no-fluff communicators. If you ask for their opinion, get ready for the unvarnished truth, no matter how it lands. Their straightforwardness is legendary, and while their intentions are rarely malicious, they can sometimes come across as a little too blunt, especially in a heated debate. For November Sagittariuses, a philosophical discussion isn't just an exchange of ideas, it's a competitive sport. They're ready to win, prove their point, and show you why they're right. And if someone's feelings get hurt along the way, well, that's just the price of intellectual victory. Enter December Sagittariuses, still truth seekers, but with a bit more finesse. While they're not afraid of a good debate, they're more likely to consider the emotional impact of their words before speaking. December Sagittariuses are the diplomats of the Zodiac, experts in the art of smooth talk. They can still dish out the tough truths, but they'll do so with a gentler approach, making sure to cushion the blow and maintain social harmony. They're the ones who can steer a conversation away from conflict and keep things light, even when the topic is heavy. So, if you're a November Sagittarius, you might be the truth bomber who's happy to drop the bomb and walk away, while your December counterpart is the smooth talker, carefully crafting their words to make sure everyone leaves the conversation with their feelings intact. Risk-taking versus stability, the Sagittarius evolution. Let's talk about risk, shall we? November Sagittariuses are the daredevils of the Zodiac, the ones who toss caution to the wind like it's confetti. They thrive on the excitement of the unknown, always ready to dive into new experiences, no matter how unpredictable or unconventional they may seem. Spontaneous trips to far-flung countries? Check. Starting a career that goes against the grain? Double check. For November Sagittariuses, the ordinary is just a cage, and they're determined to break free. But then we reach December, and something interesting happens. The Sagittarius penchant for risk evolves. While they still crave adventure, December Sagittariuses tend to approach things with a bit more caution. They're no longer as impulsive in their decision-making, preferring to build a solid foundation before taking the plunge. Rather than diving headfirst into the unknown, they'll test the waters first, ensuring that their path is secure before making any big moves. They seek stability and security in their decisions, which often leads them to be more deliberate and calculated than their November counterparts. So, if you're born in November, you're probably the first to jump into a new project or relationship without hesitation, embracing the thrill of the unknown. You're the let's go for it type. But if your birthday falls in December, you might take a more measured approach, carefully observing and planning before making any long-term commitments. You're more likely to assess the situation from every angle before deciding whether to jump or wait for a clearer sign. In the world of Sagittarius, risk and stability aren't opposites, they're part of an evolution, one that shifts with the month you were born. Relationships, Independence versus deep connection. When it comes to relationships, November Sagittariuses are the ones who value their me time above all. They're the independent souls who crave space and freedom, even in a romantic connection. They're not the clingy, constantly texting type. Instead, they're more likely to retreat into their own world for some personal reflection or solo adventure. While they're certainly capable of deep love, they need a partner who respects their autonomy and doesn't make them feel tied down. For November Sagittariuses, love is about growth, personal growth and mutual growth. They thrive in relationships that allow them to flourish individually, so if a partner doesn't respect their need for space, frustration will inevitably follow. On the flip side, December Sagittariuses are the deep connection seekers of the Zodiac. While they too enjoy independence, their approach to relationships is more about emotional intimacy. December Sagittariuses aren't satisfied with surface-level interactions. They want to build a strong, lasting bond rooted in trust, shared experiences, and open communication. They're the ones who'll pour their heart into a relationship, seeking a deep emotional connection that lasts. Whether it's spontaneous adventures or late-night talks, they want to feel emotionally fulfilled by their partners. Both November and December Sagittariuses share a love for adventure and a healthy dose of optimism, but their relationship dynamics can differ greatly. November Sagittariuses value personal freedom, while December Sagittariuses are more inclined to seek closeness and emotional depth. It's a balancing act between maintaining their cherished autonomy and forging those meaningful, deep connections. Whether you're the independent explorer or the emotionally invested partner, it's all about finding the right equilibrium. Health and wellness, physical versus emotional. Let's talk about something that even the most adventurous of Sagittariuses can't escape: health and wellness. When it comes to staying fit, November Sagittariuses are all about pushing their physical limits. These are the types who thrive on adventure sports, hiking up mountains just to say they did it, or signing up for marathons like it's a casual walk in the park. For November-born Sagittariuses, staying healthy means constantly challenging their bodies and embracing physical extremes. They're the ones who feel most alive when they're in the midst of a tough physical challenge, whether it's climbing a rock face or kayaking through rapids. For them, if it doesn't leave them breathless, in a good way, it's probably not worth doing. Meanwhile, December Sagittariuses take a slightly more holistic approach to wellness. They still care about their physical health, but they're more inclined to focus on emotional and mental well-being. These Sagittariuses are the ones who sign up for yoga classes, meditation retreats, and maybe even therapy sessions to explore the deep corners of their minds. For them, health isn't just about how far they can run or how many push-ups they can do. It's about finding peace within themselves. They understand that mental balance is just as important as physical fitness, and they'll dedicate time to nurturing their inner world as much as their outer one. So, whether you're a November Sagittarius sprinting to the next physical challenge or a December Sagittarius sitting cross-legged, reflecting on life, both approaches to wellness are rooted in a desire to be the best version of themselves. It's just that one is more likely to involve a sweat-drenched t-shirt and the other a calming mantra. Which Sagittarius are you? So, whether you're a November Sagittarius, always on the hunt for the next big adventure, or a December Sagittarius, who values meaningful connections and a bit of stability in the chaos, your birth month clearly plays a pivotal role in shaping who you are. But no matter the month, the essence of Sagittarius remains the same: boundless optimism, a curious nature, and an unquenchable thirst for life's grand journey. At the end of the day, being a Sagittarius isn't just about the specifics of your birth month, it's about embracing the unknown, constantly learning, growing, and sharing those unique experiences with the world. Whether you're an independent risk-taker who prefers to go solo or a grounded, social Sagittarius who thrives on emotional connections, you're still a true embodiment of the Archer's spirit. So, let's settle this once and for all: which type of Sagittarius are you? The spontaneous, thrill-seeking November adventurer, or the more socially connected, thoughtful December wanderer? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read all about the Sagittarius conversation here. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button on Zodiac Talks Tarot for more deep dives into the fascinating world of astrology. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and, above all, stay lucky.